.org.
torchpodcast.org. So check him out there, and I'm happy to introduce him to speak tonight.
All right. So I just remembered about 45 minutes ago that you had reminded me.
You want the mic?
You want a mic? Do I need a mic? Pretty loud, but
Just in case.
just in case. As Shauna pointed out earlier, when I was studying with my
Oh, that you're loud?
group. Yes. So I want to speak about, we started the Torah over again. We started reading Bereshit, and I think there's a very valuable lesson that we can all learn from this parsha, something that we can take with us throughout the year. When you study the story of creation, the beauty of Torah, the way God wrote it, was that it's written at a level where a child can read it and see if the world was created in 6 days, and then we had Shabbos. But obviously, we know, with an elementary school education, that we observe time by the time it takes the Earth to revolve on its axis. So obviously that did not happen the way we calculate time today. And when you look at the depth of the knowledge with regard to this, and all of this, what I'm about to tell you, leads to a very important message to us. And that is when you look at the depth of the Kabbalah, Rabbi Yaakov Wolbe did a lecture on this where he looked at all the works and calculated the age of the universe. And guess what? The physicists now have it right. They had to toil for that. We already knew that. We cheated. The Almighty gave us the answer. That the universe is over 13.8 billion years or something like that. And there's some more text in there too about how in the Sefer Yetzirah it talks about how the verse that talks about how God created man, and it brings it up again a few verses later, is because what Ari Kaplan brings out is that the first verse refers to man that was created without a neshama, just a nefesh, just an animal soul. And then 40,000 years later, he created man with a neshama, a soul that came right from the throne of the king and came all the way through all the worlds into our bodies in this world. And why is this all important? Because when you think about it, when do we start counting time? We start counting time when Adam received the neshama, meaning all those billions of years, all the things that he did beforehand, he's saying, I think that doesn't really matter to me. What matters is the moment that mankind had a neshama. And if you think about the reason he created us, was he created us for one reason, to be his co-creator in this world, to finish the job, to bring about tikkun olam, something that he needed us to accomplish. And when you consider another facet as well, is that in the business world, you can have the smartest people put together the best business plan. But it doesn't mean it's foolproof. It can still fail. Why? Because there's unknown variables that we're not aware of. And those things may unfold and cause the business to fail. So here's my point to all of this. The difference is, with God, he is as present today with all of us as he is before creation, as he is in Olam Haba. And I think we can all deduce that he would not have created the world and put us with a task of finishing the job with him if he did not know we would not succeed. So you have all these self-help books with positive affirmations we're supposed to give to ourselves to build confidence in ourselves. But do we really need to understand anything other than that? The Almighty gave us a task to finish his world. And he knew that we would complete it, otherwise he wouldn't have made us. And that means that everyone, every Jew, has a very special role in God's creation. And so there's no way, there's no reason why any of us should go into this year with any self-doubt, with any sense of, I'm not worthy. Because we've been given the loftiest job possible when we know that we're going to succeed. And the same goes when we look at other Jews. Every single Jew that we meet, we know that they were given that same purpose. But here's the key. Here's the variable that we control. That job of finishing completion can occur anytime between now and the next 219 years. The only variables we control is how long it takes and how difficult it needs to be. So how do we make the job easier? It's when Jews follow the business plan, the set of instructions, God's Torah. And so by being here and also considering that if every Jew is created with an essential, unique role in God's creation, then we also have a responsibility not only being here studying ourselves and pushing ourselves to learn, but spreading Torah. And when I look at what God has done with the pandemic, forcing Torch to sort of reconfigure how it's going to spread Torah when the Torch Center was closed for so long. And now it's spreading podcasts and YouTube videos to every corner of the world. I think one of the things that we can do, now that I believe Torch now stands instead of for the Torah Outreach Center of Houston, but the Torah Outreach Center of Hashem, is we can do a very simple task to spread Torah, to make sure every Jew has what they need to know to create their own, provide their own unique impact on creation. And sharing those podcasts, sharing those Torah lectures, spreading Torah, inviting more people to be partners in Torah. Because even if they can't be in this building, they can connect to them. Like I was just done saying with Rabbi Cohen, who's in Israel. So I believe we can get this done. There's no reason we can't do this year. We can make Hashem proud. We can complete His world this year, and we can do it by dedicating ourselves to Torah study, following the instructions, the Torah, and making sure that every Jew has access to it. Thank you so much.